Hello guys, Matt,
David,
and Ali here.
and a big thank you to all of you for choosing to get your gaming news here at Livewire.
in today's video we will be continuing one of our main channel series of For Honor and taking a look at the potential new classes for online.
So far in game, each warrior legacy has one class per faction, but it has been confirmed recently that there will be new classes for each faction where we will likely see weapon variants as well as altering playstyles.
Now over the last few weeks and months you have brought us many suggestions of what classes you would like to see be included, so we will be looking at all of your suggestions in the video, as well as a few of our own ideas. However, if you have any more suggestions of which classes you would like to see, then be sure to comment your thoughts below.
If you're enjoying the For Honor series, then please hit that like button. Let's try and hit 30 likes to begin with to show your love for this epic game.
Also, if you are new to the channel, please remember to subscribe for the full For Honor coverage until release and beyond.
Okay, let's get right to it then. As you'll know, there's 3 warrior legacies currently in For Honor: the Knights Legion, the Viking Warborn and the Samurai Chosen. These 3 legacies currently only have one class each to play with through the campaign and online, and from what we've been told, each class will always use a specific weapon. For example, the Warden Knights will always use a two-handed longsword.
Now this leaves each legacy relying on one set playstyle, so if you're a knight, you'll be slow moving and forced to use big swings to hack and slash at the enemy. Now this isn't very exciting for online gameplay, where variation in playstyle can keep things interesting, and it would mean that we can't play our favourite legacy without having to adopt a playstyle we may not enjoy. So this is where the new classes for each faction come into play.
We hope that different classes per faction will allow for different sets of weapons, and perhaps different variations of armour as well. This could drastically change our playstyle for each of the factions, leading to a more interesting game.
So first of all, let's take a look at the Knights Legion. So far they have the Warden class at their disposal. The Wardens are powerful, noble warriors dedicated to the defence of their land and their people. Well protected in mixed armour of plate, chain and leather, Wardens wield a massive two-handed longsword for slashing enemies and blocking attacks. This class is extremely protected and powerful when slashing an enemy, but for what it has in terms of strength and power, it is seriously lacking in speed and mobility.
So a class we would like to see for the Knights is a class which would add speed and agility to the Knights faction. The idea we have is the Scout class, who would wear mostly leather to allow for quicker movement. They would be equipped with a one-handed sword that would allow for quicker strikes than the huge greatsword of the Warden.
For defence they would also have a light wooden shield that didn't affect their speed but allowed for decent blocking for those incoming hits. The interesting part of this class would be their unique ability. Whereas the Kensai for the Samurai have a throwing dagger and can cool down a volley of arrows, the Scout can equip a bow or crossbow for a short duration and fire bolts and arrows at enemies from a distance. We think this would be really cool and bring a new dynamic to For Honor, and also it would please a lot of you who are asking for a ranged class in game.
Now your ideas for another Knights class have all been fantastic, the most popular ones being a Knight with a giant warhammer that would crush our enemies, or a Knight Defender who would use a large shield and a one-handed weapon such as a mace. It'd be great if the devs would actually allow the Wardens to be customizable so that a warhammer could be used, and then also create a new class with plated armour from head to toe with a massive shield and grizzly mace. Imagine seeing that coming towards you in the battlefield. It would certainly strike fear into the hearts of the Warborn or the Chosen.
Next up, let's take a look at the Warborn and the Raider class. Fighting with heavy two-handed Dane axes, Raiders are always found at the forefront of the Viking horde. They cover themselves with tattoos, souvenirs from past battles. On a side note, wouldn't it be cool if we could add more and more tattoos to our character with the number of battles we win? Get inked, fool!
These fierce warriors embody the ideals of true Viking warriors: bravery, integrity and passion. All know that their moment of death has already been chosen, and so they do not fear it. Of course, they all intend to bring as many foes with them as they can.
Judging by the new gameplay at E3, the Raider class seems to suffer from the similar issues as the Warden. Yes, their attacks are devastating, but they are very slow. But a way of giving the Warborn a quicker class would be by allowing them to dual wield one-handed axes and quickly slice at your enemies.
This could be achieved with a class we like to call the Berserker. The Warborn still keeps that inner rage in Viking fury, but channels it not swinging a big two-handed axe, but instead in close quarter combat with dual wielded axes. One of their special abilities could be Berserker mode, where they use their rage for even quicker flurries of attacks that would deal more damage. Perhaps though they would be more susceptible to incoming damage during that time.
Another popular one for the Vikings from you guys is a round shielded class that uses a one-handed weapon as their primary weapon. And from the concept art we have, and as well as all the trailers from Ubisoft, it would be shocking if the Warborn didn't have a class like this, so you can fully expect to see this Warborn class for online.
Lastly then, the Chosen, and there have already been changes made to the Chosen classes. Ubisoft brought out a video explaining the Oni class for the Chosen, which was said to be a deadly samurai assassin-like class, using poison blades and swift attacks to dispatch enemies. However, if you look on the site now, and their talk from E3, the Oni class is no longer mentioned, and instead it is called the Kensai.
The Kensai all aspire to be living incarnations of the Bushido, the samurai way of the warrior, masters of martial arts ready to die for their emperor and for their fellow samurai. The Kensai all fight with the Nadachi. That deadly blade, a longer version of the classic katana, is used to cleave their enemies in a few elegant and powerful strikes.
Now, with the Chosen story still somewhat of a mystery to us, we haven't actually seen user-controlled gameplay of a Kensai yet, and this could actually be a completely new class. In the Oni shop video, they are said to wield classic Japanese katanas, whereas the Kensai are described to wield the Nodachi, which as David pointed out in a longer version of the classic katana, so perhaps a clue that Kensai and Oni are actually different classes for the samurai.
Another clue is that the Kensai are painted out to be honourable, disciplined fighters, their life a service to their emperor. The Oni, previously though, were painted to be more shady and mysterious, as assassins who readily use poisons don't sound the most honourable to me.
A third class that you guys have suggested, which we would also love to see, is a spear or halberd wielding class. This would allow for different gameplay styles completely, and the enemy would have to dodge around the reach of our long weapon and try and counter our position to get close enough to strike. It would certainly make for some intense duels online to say the least. We believe a spear or halberd class also fits the Chosen faction nicely as a third class option, because it would mean the slower class like that of the Warden and Raider of the other two legacies.
Okay then guys, we can hope that the For Honor team implements some of these awesome class ideas into the game. But when they officially release the new classes, you'll be able to catch all that information here on Livewire, so consider subscribing if you don't want to miss out. We absolutely love discussing this exciting game with you in the comments below, so if you have any discussion points or questions, leave them there and we'll be sure to reply.
Until the next one then guys, you can click on our faces to get to know us a little better.
Click here for our entire For Honor news playlist to catch up.
Or click here for our full series of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands news.